The following is a presentation of the University of Evansville Military History Project.
Well, I graduated from U of E in '71 and went through the ROTC program. And on my senior year, was about 5-6 months from graduating. And it was in the ROTC program, so I knew that I was going to be commissioned on a certain date, actually on graduation date, 13th of June, and I got a draft notice. And so at that time, most of my college career, it was during a time when if you were in school, you had a deferment from the draft. Basically went and talked to them and submitted all my paperwork that said I was in the ROTC program, and they gave me a deferment. They said they needed lieutenants more than they needed privates. And so got to finish out my senior year and get commissioned on the day that I actually graduated. And so from there I went on active duty, and I was an ICBM operator, a missile launch officer. So the 4 guys that it takes to start World War III, that's what I did. And it was a great opportunity because it gave me a chance to go to graduate school and Uncle Sam to pay for it, which was even better. So I went to Central Missouri State and received a master's degree in industrial safety. And so when my 4 years was over, I got out because I had a brand new degree, had 2 degrees, an undergraduate degree from here and a master's degree from there. And so I wanted to go out and just see what was going on, and did that for about 2.5 years. And then I got a call saying that the Air Force and the military was starting to work on this chemical warfare program. And because I had the degree in safety engineering, my name popped up on a list. And so at that point in time, I went back in the reserves with a tanker unit at Grissom Air Force Base. And then to fast forward that, we deployed with them in Desert Storm as a chemical warfare officer. And then Grissom closed. It got caught up in the BRAC, and then so I was ready to retire. I was a lieutenant colonel with 23 years, and the gentleman who was the adjutant general at the time for the Guard, and I didn't have any dealings with the Guard at all. He asked me to come down and help them out with a problem they were having with training, and so I said I'll give it a try. And the next thing you know, they hired me, and I went back on active duty and became a colonel. And then one day my boss came in the office and said, had good news and bad news, which is a real interesting conversation from a 2-star general. And I said, well, you know, I'll take the bad news first, sir. And he said, you're fired. And I still got the good news to come, and told me they were gonna promote me to general. Well, all my, my grandfathers, my uncles, every male that was in my family, as far back as I could track, had served. And so, and my father, who was the greatest man I ever met, and just a great mentor. He was a captain in the Second World War. He was a combat engineer and served in France rebuilding bridges after Hitler blew them up. And so that training, or that mindset or work ethic, or whatever you want to call it, he brought that to my sister and to myself. My class in '71 got here in '67. It was the first year that we were not Evansville College. And so our class was the first one to go through the 4-year program as the university. I think the other thing that was different about that was that I was a townie. My father worked on the lock and dam. He was one of the architects of the lock and dam up in Newburgh, and so I lived at home, and I worked 40 hours all through college. And so the things that, the college life experience and all that business was something that I didn't really experience. And there were a couple of reasons. One is living at home, but the other reason is that the draft. I wanted to make sure that my grades were, acceptable so I could stay in school. And, in today's world where you have, people, and I've just read a magazine article recently that said, there's a pretty high percentage now of people don't get through undergraduate school in 4 years. It takes them 4.5 or 5 years or whatever. Well, 4 years is what I had. And so I needed to make sure that I completed it during that time. We take care of 24 acres of property in Indianapolis, downtown. The circle belongs to us, as well as all the green space. Indianapolis is second only to Washington, D.C. in the number of monuments that we have in our nation, and there's no nation that has more acreage honoring veterans than Indianapolis, Indiana. And so it's a wonderful job. It's a job where no 2 days are ever the same. We're taking care of buildings that are 80 and 100 years old, so just about every day you come to work there's something broken or something that needs to be fixed. But I guess the thing that we're doing is, as a matter of fact, it's really the first time that I had an opportunity to use my U of E marketing degree is to market the place and to get people in it, because we're the best kept secret in the state of Indiana, and we don't want to be. You know, we want people to come and see it, and the architecture and the things that we have in the museum are just amazing. You know, Indiana has a storied history about the military. And in fact, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is people just don't understand how Hoosiers have stepped up since we were a state to protect our state and nation. And even today, you know, we're the 16th largest state in the nation. We're the 4th largest National Guard, not the 16th, the 4th. And when you look at people as far as the numbers that have deployed since 9/11, Indiana's right at the top. And so Hoosiers get it. They understand what it means to serve their country and their state.